Arun, are we ready with the next ones? Chief guest? Yeah, excellent. So let me say a few words around. So, well, friends, we are very privileged to have Miss Anna Wielogorska as our chief guest. She is a very well-known leader in public procurement. Presently, she's working as a procurement manager, South Asia region in the World Bank. She has been for the last 25 years in public procurement. She has covered wide range of sectors, and the most complex one like infrastructures, IT system. Many of you are dealing with procurement of IT system. You know it's very complex. So she has done those things around, even on the customs, tax, health, social security. So that speaks the strength of her knowledge into those fields around. She has a wealth of experience in public procurement reform as well. In addition, I would say she's very knowledgeable on EU, on CITROL, model law-based system. And in addition, on top of it, one is working in 25 years in one region. She has worked around 20 years in different regions. She has worked in Africa. She has worked in East Asia and Pacific. She has worked in Europe and Central Asia around. So literally she has covered the whole world. So well, friend, with this, please join me in welcoming Miss Anna Wielogorska for a keynote address. Thank you again. Anna, welcome back. Are you there, Anna? Yeah.
My microphone on now. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Batra, for your very kind introduction. And dear participants, it really is my pleasure to be amongst you for this opening session of the third edition of the International Conference on Public Procurement, which I think marks the foundation day of the Public Procurement Professional Association of India. I think I understand that the PPIA already has 15,000 members, which is quite incredible. And I think it has quite ambitious plans to contribute there will be some 2,500 or more, maybe 3,000 participants from all different countries who will be attending this conference. So I hope this conference will be a very useful brainstorming for some of the burning issues, which I'll also cover in my introduction. And also, you know, I hope everybody will learn something new. We're always trying to learn things. And if not, then at the very least for refreshing our knowledge. So last year has been quite an eventful year for the public procurement family, mainly due to the fact that green public procurement has become a more and more important element of many government strategy to mitigate the impacts of climate change, which are affecting us every day. I think in all countries, we're experiencing rather strange climate events, weather events, the early wildfires in Australia, the floods last year in Pakistan, even some heat waves where last year I experienced 40 degrees in London, which was quite unheard of. I think this was a record for London. So this is something, so climate change is something which is becoming more and more urgent. And I think it's excellent that we in public procurement are able to help address this. procurement, sometimes called sustainable. I think the aims are the same. And as part of this, for example, we've recently completed a stock taking of green public procurement in India, and we're embarking on research studies in specific sectors, for example, road transport, energy, water, or urban. We see that the Indian institutions, including ISM, PPIA, are offering training in green public procurement, and we offer our technical support. And the bank is supporting various programs worldwide. I think many of you, if you are from international countries, you'll see that there will be programs launched in almost every region. At the global level, the bank, we've published a number of guidance notes, toolkits on green public procurement. I also want to congratulate the government of Punjab, which has recently introduced a guidance note on GPP, or green public procurement. The government of Bangladesh, I know, also has published some guidance on sustainable public procurement and some policy notes on this, and has adopted a policy which is excellent. And I know that many of your governments also are working on this issue. So I think this is excellent. This is something that we're supporting, and we're also supporting this, for example, in Pakistan, in India, in Sri Lanka, in fact, all over South Asia, as part of assistance to the whole of the economy. So, and climate, that affects the whole of the economy. So I guess you can look out for this in your countries as well, because I think it's not something that is only in South Asia, but certainly in India and in South Asia, we're making very big strides and involving all the training institutes to help in implementing the policies. Now, one of the other challenges faced by public procurement professionals is to find the right balance between quality and price while taking the award decisions. I think, many in many jurisdictions, people are being, traditionally are forced to take the view that contracts should be awarded based on least cost, so the lowest cost. But I think many countries, including India, have understood that actually this doesn't result, firstly, in value for money, and also it doesn't result necessarily in quality and investments. So it's very heartening. Probably some of the first countries evaluation approach, and other non-price factors. The bank, from the 1st of September this year, we've actually made the use of rated evaluation criteria mandatory for projects that approach the international market. Now, this is something that has been available at the bank since we launched the procurement framework in 2016. But I think what we found is that we need to do some advocacy around this, which we have been doing, and we're seeing that is really yielding results. And what this means is that we assign some weight to non-price factors during bid evaluation. So based on this experience, we hope that this will also be adopted by participants here. I this let's say gradually, so we're only doing this based on internationally advertised tenders. But the importance here, and I cannot underestimate, ensuring value for money and ensuring the quality, consequently, the sustainability of the various investments that are made. We also have seen, and here also this really in evaluation, public procurement as a tool to promote socioeconomic objectives. Now, one way of doing this is through the use of rated criteria in evaluation, but another way of doing this, and one that is gaining more and more traction, is the promotion of micro and small, medium and medium-sized enterprises, and particularly those owned by women entrepreneurs. Governments have taken a lot of measures to promote participation of MSMEs, including women-owned businesses in public procurement. And in some which ensure that at least 30% of all contract awards in public procurement go to these medium and small enterprises, which I think is an excellent thing. There are not many governments that have adopted this. This example is drawn from Russia, for example. But in India, government e-marketplace, GEM, and this is also a good example where we can promote the participation of small and medium-sized enterprises and also women-owned businesses. So we have recently commissioned a small study to understand the reasons for low participation and lower rates of contract awards to women-owned businesses. And we hope the findings of the studies will help the government and public purchasers in creating an enabling environment for improving the share of women in public procurement. Now, also, public procurement policymakers are increasingly understanding the importance of upstream work in drafting procurement strategies. And I think it's excellent, and this is, I hope that I having a look at the timetable and the agenda for today. I think this will be covered by some. I think this is a very good move to ensure that procurement is not just about having a lot of activities and doing and buying things. There needs to be a real strategy to achieve the intended objectives of the procurement process. So procurement, the project procurement strategy, so the way in which the bank has done this is we insist and every project has to have a project procurement strategy for development, something that we call the PPST. This is a mandatory requirement for World Bank finance projects. And I'm glad that the government experience in today's workshop. I must say, when we introduced the PPSDs, and when I was working in Vietnam, I was whole and several of the big utility companies then came back to us and said, yes, this is excellent and we'd like to learn some more. And they have now mainstreamed it in their business. So I'm glad that that we will get to share some experiences. We'll get to hear about some of the experiences in New Zealand, which, you know, and it also learn from. There are many other relevant topics which are covered. For example, data. This is how we have to learn, and this is how we were able to adapt our strategies when we look at, you know, how, when we analyze the data from developing resilience. I think, you know, another that is seen as a, you'll find the various thoughts and ideas national speakers and Indian resource persons, very useful, and we will all, you know, continue to learn. We must all remember that we are on a continuous learning experience. Finally, I want to congratulate PPIA, ISM-INDIA, and the various partner institutions for organizing today's conference with the participation of various global industry leaders from the private sector. I wish you all the very best, and I hope to see you all next year when we hold the same conference, again on the anniversary of the foundation day of Public Procurement Professional Association of India. And I also will be interested to see how many members you will have gained by next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the keynote address, Ms. Wielogorska. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Krishan Batra to talk about the procurement strategy framework and the big picture approach.